welcome to this very special edition of the KJ Masterclass Live, the show which ensures that you profit from your time spent here with experts, either through their industry insights, information, or simply learning from them. And today we have Blake Lefkoe. She is a certified facilitator of the Lefkoe Method. It's a transformational process designed to help people eliminate the limiting beliefs that hold them back from living their life, living their fullest potential. Welcome to the show, Blake.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. Welcome to the show. Welcome to India in this online form, Blake. And I'm sure not just in India, but a lot of people across the globe will benefit from what we are going to talk right now. We'll try and understand how one can break free from limiting beliefs. We'll understand all that from you. But before that, Blake, if you can take us through your journey of tackling the problem yourself about limiting beliefs so that people can learn more about you and also learn about the message that you are trying to give.
Absolutely. So, growing up, my dad created this process. Um, he worked with clients, he worked with businesses. My mom worked with private clients, and there was a lot of personal growth and personal development in my house. And I just felt the need to rebel from all of that. And when I turned 18, I started traveling, and I had a lot of fun for a lot of years. I ended up moving to Hawaii and just traveling from here. A lot of drinking and partying and surfing and skydiving and whatever really felt good in the moment. And then one day I woke up and I was almost 40 and I had an 8-year old. And I just realized that my life was not sustainable and I wasn't fulfilled. And I was having a lot of fun, but I wasn't happy anymore. And I found my way back to the process that my dad created. Just, I was really fortunate to have that tool at my disposal. And I started having sessions and eliminating beliefs. I also sat with some plant medicine, kind of just tried everything that I could find, and ended up getting completely sober. Left the restaurant industry after 3 decades, got out from behind the bar, started my own business, and now I'm able to help other people get unstuck and find what their passions are and have more passion in their life. What do you want that what do you love and what do you want more of in your life, and what doesn't work for you that you want less of, and what's keeping you stuck in old patterns?
Absolutely. Absolutely, Blake. So I want to understand from you. Uh, we'll come to this part about you leaving this particular method and then getting back to it. But first, to understand for the audience is that what is this authentic living? Understanding about how does one know whether one is living their true self or not? Because when you are living, you are just living. Is there and how do you know about that there is an alternate reality which could be their true
Well,
reality?
I think there's a couple of things, when you're mindful and intentional. Some people feel like they have to do things, right? Like, I have to succeed. I love being successful because I have to, because that makes me feel good enough about myself. That's not living your true path. Um, Living your true path is waking up and being excited about your life, having your life align with your passions and values. People think life has to look a certain way, and it doesn't. Life can look any way you want it to. You can do what you want for work. You can have your family, your relationships, you can live where you want. I've built a life for myself where I have a lot of time built in to play in the ocean every day. And I have time built in to spend time with my child. And I'm available to take him to every baseball game and every baseball practice and to be here when he gets home from school. And it doesn't have to look 40, 50 hours a week doing something you don't like to make money and to be stressed and overwhelmed. It's it's just living a life that feels right to you.
Living a life that feels right to uh, whoever it is. So, what are limiting beliefs here then? Means what role do limiting beliefs and where do they come from?
So typically we form beliefs when we're children, 4, 5, 6 years old. Our parents do the best job they can. It's not a blame game. And, imagine you grow up and you're always criticized. Everything you do. Oh, why did you get a B? You could have gotten an A. And your room should be cleaner. And you can't leave the house looking like that. And the dishes aren't clean enough. And what's wrong with you? Why did you do this? And when we're small, we don't say, oh, my parents have poor parenting skills. We go, oh, I see. I'm not good enough. Nothing I do is good enough. And we form these beliefs, and then our lives become consistent with those beliefs. And that's what we look for. And that's what we see examples of. And beliefs like I'm not good enough often can lead to patterns like procrastination, because if nothing you do is good enough, why bother doing it in the first place? And we come up with survival strategies subconsciously when we're children. So we come home with straight A's and our parents say, oh, good job. We're so proud of you. We go, oh, I see. The way to be good enough is to be perfect, or to make people happy, or to achieve, or whatever that thing is. And then our life becomes about doing that. And again, it's not because we want to, it's because we feel like we have to. We feel like that's what makes us good enough. And if we don't, then we're not. So really common limiting beliefs that most people have is I'm not worthy, I'm not lovable, I'm not deserving, what I want isn't important. And then every iteration of those, relationships don't work, money is scarce, people don't like me, just across the board. And as you find the pattern that you want to change, you find the beliefs that contribute to that pattern. And as you eliminate them, the pattern just changes. You don't have to, there's no integration, there's no affirmations. You don't have to remember, oh, I have to change my perspective or think about it differently. You just neutralize the triggers. And all of a sudden, things start showing up differently. You're able to start seeing things differently. You're able to start putting yourself out there, putting your own needs first, or feeling like you're worthy just for existing. It's really a profoundly powerful process, and it's simple.
Right, right. So, Blake, let me understand it for the audience through this. When, as a child, your father and in your family, there was a lot of talk on personal development and a lot of, good things were happening. Then where did you get your, different sort of a belief? You did not believe on your father's method and then you totally went,
It's not
different
that I
way.
didn't believe it. I did it as a child, and my dad actually worked with me. I don't even remember. I think I was 6 years old, and we went to this carnival, and I was terrified. And I had never been afraid of crowds before, and I wanted to leave. And we left, and he said, what's going on? And I said, crowds are dangerous, which is a belief. And he took me through the process. And the last time we had been at a crowded place, I'd gotten burned by a cigarette. Someone put a cigarette out on my arm, and I was really little. And so he took me through the process, and the belief went away, and I realized that crowds aren't inherently dangerous. And I've been fine in crowds my entire life ever since that. So it wasn't that I didn't believe it. It was more, I think, just like a teenage rebellion. Just, I'm going to do my own thing, and I'm going to find my own way, and I don't want any help. And I did. And then at some point I said, wow, this is really an amazing tool I have at my disposal, and I'm going to use it. But I think it was good that I lived the life the way that I did and had the experiences that I had and went through my own trials and tribulations, because you have to go through that journey to get where you're at now. And now it's a lot easier for me to relate to people and understand people. And I didn't just grow up kind of spewing what my parents told me. I really had to find my way to it myself.
Right, right, Blake. So, what is this Lefkoe method? If you can explain for even a simple person to understand this?
So the main premise is you get in touch with a belief. For example, I'm not good enough. You find the source, and then it's just a step-by-step method. You realize that you didn't actually see the belief out there in the world because we think that we saw it. Look, there's my dad saying this. Can't you see it? We come up with alternative interpretations, other ways to describe those events. It's kind of hard to just explain, but there's about 5 key steps.
Right.
And at the end, there's this moment where you just go, oh my gosh, that's not the truth. I've been living with this thing my whole life that I thought was the truth, and it's not. And it's such a freeing experience. And the more you do it, the easier it becomes to eliminate beliefs. I have clients, we can eliminate 5 beliefs in a session, which is just amazing. You can work really fast. There's some
Right.
other processes too. I talked about survival strategies, right? So, like, I'm not worthy, and what makes me worthy is having people think well of me, for example. And you can eliminate the I'm not worthy, and then you can also neutralize that trigger, that survival strategy. And so you can go through life not feeling like everyone needs to think well of you. And it gives you so much freedom to live an authentic life that in a way that you want to live, that resonates with you, and not just to make other people happy because you feel like that's what makes you worthy.
Right. Right. What's the most common belief you see people holding back?
I'm not good
Holding
enough.
people back. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
How do you then come into the picture? What is it that you tell them that they find themselves, very good for the world?
So first you look for a pattern. So people come to me, they say, I'm procrastinating, I'm anxious, I'm depressed, I'm not satisfied in my career. I care too much what other people think. I mean, just anything, any pattern. Alcoholic, depression. I worked with someone that was depressed and just couldn't get off the couch. And so you look for the beliefs that are underneath that. And then one by one, you start eliminating them, and you just watch as the pattern shifts. And I have so many amazing stories from clients that stopped procrastinating and started amazing businesses, or quit their job as a lawyer that they were just so unhappy with because that was their parents' dream, and they were able to become an entrepreneur and follow their dream that had never been a possibility for them before. I've helped people stop drinking, fears, anxieties, depression, addiction. I mean, there's really nothing that it can't. Fear of public speaking is a really common one. My parents had a lot of clients that had fear of public speaking. And yeah, it's all just beliefs. I mean, they literally run our lives.
Right. What makes this, Lefkoe method special? There might be other methods also. People must are dealing with these issues in their own manner through their own understanding, or even specialists they are dealing with it. So how do you help people understand? Okay, this method is different than other methods.
There's a lot of great modalities out there. There's so many amazing things today that can help people, and I think people try a lot of things, and different things resonate better for certain people. Just keep trying until you find that thing that works for you. This works for most people, doesn't work for everybody, but we've had a lot of clients that have said, oh my gosh, I've tried everything and nothing has helped until this. And it's just a unique way of changing your perspective. And it's profound, it's permanent. Again, there's no integration. You don't have to remember anything. You don't have to do anything. You just got to show up and be willing to face your stuff. And as you work through it, your life will change as a result. And it's a unique modality. There's multiple processes. There's another one, a stimulus process, where you find the trigger and the emotion. So every time I'm criticized, I feel fear. Every time I'm told what to do, I get angry. Every time I see a dog, I get scared. And you go back and you realize that this trigger wasn't actually causing the emotion. It was the meaning that you were giving it to it. And through this process, it's actually very simple. You're able to break that apart and you neutralize the trigger. And then you're able to have someone tell you what to do and not get angry anymore. And again, it just frees you from these limitations. You walk around feeling like we have to be this way, or we're afraid of this, or we have to do it this way, or I'm not going to stand up for myself because confrontation is scary. And as you break these triggers and get rid of these beliefs, you just have so much possibility. You're able to live that authentic life that we were talking about because you're not living out of fear.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There is much to learn from you, Blake, about all these things. And I'm sure a lot of people would want to connect with you and know more about these and also the Lefkoe method. So what's the best way for them to do so?
My website is just Blake Lefkoe, BLAKE, LEF as in Frank KOE.com. If you want to email me, it's blakelefkoe@gmail.com. I'm not on social media. Does not resonate with me. Don't like that. To each their own, but yeah, I don't have it. But if you go on my website, you can schedule a free 15-minute call with me. Ask me anything. I'm available. Always interested in hearing people's stories and answering questions. If you want to schedule a session, yeah, my email also. Feel free to reach out. I'm happy to connect with anybody out there that's interested.
Wonderful. With this, it's a wrap on this very special edition of the KJ Masterclass Live. Thank you so much indeed for joining us.
Thank you.